working the MusicXML 3 thingy, and so I will kind of make a brief introduction about what it is, why maybe we should use it or why we shouldn't. I mean, that's up to us, and I'll kind of go into the syntax and explain like what they have done to include Turkish music in MusicXML 3.0, and then we will have the discussion part. So it's like a pretty short presentation actually. So simply, MusicXML, as its name implies, it's a XML based music notation file format, and it has a royalty free license, so its definitions are free, but the other stuff are closed source, so we don't actually know like what is going on in the back after we get their definition, but like they are very encouraging for people to make like open source applications with their own, using MusicXML. And
I don't understand what you said. I mean, if it's free, what is it proprietary? Is there something?
So their definitions are free. The yeah, these DTD and XSD stuff, the definitions. So I will actually come to there, and I might actually ask from Utku to explain some of those, because I'm not very good at XML stuff. Like I might be missing some concepts, but so simply it is aimed to be like a common exchange method between like different music software. Like maybe I'm using Finale, another guy is using like a optical music recognition software. So how can I, how can that guy scan a document, a music file, and then I can use it? So if like there are like hundreds and thousands of software, like trying to make like different software to communicate with every software, it will be like impossible. So MusicXML is kind of trying to be the mediator for all these. And so maybe why we should choose MusicXML thingy. It might be like it's simple. It's in XML format is pretty easy to read. It's easy to parse, and it's very powerful. And then you are more concerned about the semantics than how to actually represent it. So you can focus on like what you want to represent, other than how should I do it. So people can start writing in it pretty fast. And then like most of the major industry programming languages like C++, Python, or whatever, they have like XML parsing tools. So when you are building a software, it's very easy to integrate XML related stuff, and so it's also true for MusicXML too. And not only making software, but then we can also use these parsing tools to analyze like stuff pretty easily. And the other thing is it's used by like 150 plus software, and it's like including like the de facto standard score writing software like Finale, Sibelius. You can even use it in MaxMSP by like MaxScore uses it, or JMSL also uses it. So you can kind of use it for like live interactive performances too. Optical character recognition software mainly relies on MusicXML 3 as their main format to communicate with the major score writing software. And even sequences like Cubase, now they like, I think Steinbeck kind of starts integrating to all of their stuff, but I'm not really sure about it. And there are even some musicology applications which are aimed at like analyzing music, like the Music 21. It's kind of It's a research project in MIT, and it's also Python based, so maybe it might be of some use. And so this is where the free and closed stuff comes into play. So the DTD and XSD are they are XML schema languages, which I'm not really sure of what they actually mean, but they are simply the definition formats that you kind of refer to them, and you use their format, and it looks up from somewhere. So it's kind of like a reference to the, you know, what is going on in the background. And to implement something in MusicXML, these are the stuff, like either one of them is fine, but we have to refer to one of these. And like their hello world concept is kind of bigger. So if somebody is trying to write it and run it, good luck. I don't think it will be very helpful in that sense, but as you can see, it's pretty easy to read. Like it's saying like some kind of stuff to identify itself in the start. Like it's saying like I'm using XML version 1, my encoding is UTF-8, and I'm not standalone, so you have to call it from somewhere, I guess. And then this thing is where it finds the DTD definitions. So it goes to the server somehow and checks these stuff, and it understands like what to do with them. Like you can also put it to your local machine somehow, and it is, I think, explained in the tutorial. So I'm not really going that far because then you might have a brain freeze. But apart from that, as you can see, like you kind of create a part, which we have only one. Then the divisions is like how many, like how much you divide a quarter note. So right now we only have like a 1, so we don't actually need to divide any quarter notes to anything. So for us it's just 1. Fifths is the circle of fifths, so it is the key signature. And because it's like C major, A minor, or maybe Çargah makam in RL theory, like you just write 0. You can use like for Ottoman classical, you have to change it in a different way, which I will explain in a couple of minutes. And then this is like 4/4, as you can see. The clef is like G2, and your pitch is like C, and it's in the 4th octave. Its duration is because we haven't divided it to anything, then we just need like 4 quarter notes. So it's 4, like pretty simple, and that's it. It's very easy to read, and so it's also it should be very easy to parse it also. Ah, sorry. This one. Oh no, sorry. C4. Yeah. So there are like 3 major improvements in this one. The first, we don't really have to care about it. The second one is faintly related. Like they have made some kind of taxonomy, and they include like this much of instruments. So it will be kind of easy to, you know, write in an instrument and send it to another software. And it includes like some of the Turkish and Indian instruments, so it might be kind of useful.
But
Maybe.
What does it mean to have an instrument in a notation package?
Like that, I'm not really sure. Maybe Utku might explain it better, but
you're just communicating which instrument is intended to play that part. So
it's just a label at the beginning.
yeah, it's just a label.
like even this thing, like the most important thing for us, as you will see, like it's not actually like a glorious improvement or anything in terms of like how they implement it. They probably just defined like a couple of stuff, but I mean it's there and now it will work. So they have added the key accidental element, and by using that you can specify the non-traditional, which I mean for them Western is the tradition, so the way they say is like non-tradition is ours now. And new values, and they have like some new values and definitions which they can include the microtonal stuff. So these are the elements that can be called with these accidental mark and accidental text. So this is kind of like a table about like what they are, where they are, and what are the descriptions. So the definition file, if you download the DTD, then you can go to these files like to understand like how alter works. You can go to node.mod, and it's kind of easy to read. It will be kind of tedious to explain it here, but I think it's pretty like it's relatively easy. And like the ones we have to know is like the accidental is pretty much, you know, adding the accidental. So instead of like typically you will write like flat, like accidental with XML stuff, flat, and then close it. Instead of that, now they have just put like the slash flat and stuff like that. So now they are kind of added. And the accidental mark, it's like the module is also doing the modifying. So it's used for the ornaments, not for the, so I think it's for the nodes and it's for the ornaments. And it gets the same values as the accidental. The text one, it is used to display that accidental. So, you know, if it's in the key signature, then you don't really need to write it. But this is, MusicXML3 is kind of like humdrum. Even if you write everything in the key signature, you still need to define them explicitly in every note. Like if you have like a B flat 2 in your key signature, you still have to put B like flat 2 accidental value to all the B's you want to make flat 2. And so this is the key accidental thingy which they added in this one. So this is new. And the alter and key alter, they are kind of, you know, to sonify, they will be pretty useful. So you can use any decimal values to play something in the middle. Like if you write like -1, it will be a flat. But if you write like -+5, it will be the kind of well-tempered quarter tone in the middle. And so the values, now the microtonal values they have in the accidental are these now, the Tartini style one. This is, as far as I know, the 1 comma stuff. I'm not really sure, but so the arrowed one is mostly used for the contemporary classical, like John Cage stuff. We don't need to deal with it. And these two are the most important ones. Like Ottoman classical, now we have the slash quarter types, and in the Turkish folk, the sharp 1, sharp 2, sharp 3, and all those which are like pretty evident what they are doing. So now we can, it's very simple. Like instead of writing sharp, you just write like sharp 3 and it's there. And so like this is probably where the discussion kind of starts, like how can we use this MusicXML3 inside our own project. So it will, I mean, most definitely be very useful to integrate it to Mus2, like having the import-export capabilities and stuff. And then they also, because it's XML-based thing, you can as far as I understand, you can port it to like make some plugins relatively easy for web applications. So like this myriad thing, I installed it and it doesn't work. It's a 32-bit plugin, which all my stuff are 64, and if I try to open them in 32, Mac starts to cry, so I cannot do anything. But so maybe having a plugin to kind of communicate with RepoViz somehow, or I don't know, maybe RepoViz might even not need a web plugin, but it might be directly integrable. That's my I don't know much about the that much software development, so I don't know how it will work. And then the distributable score part, I think this is where the ideals of like the CompMusic kind of it might be beneficial in that sense. Like I have just seen the Nihavent repertoire, I think so, edited like 5 minutes ago, so maybe we can use that format, like that website to upload stuff, or again getting stuff from Mus to Okur when we have the import-export capabilities. And I have also found this website. It is its name is Wikiphonia. It's in Netherlands, and they kind of pay for the like licenses of sheet documents, so they could be distributable as free. I don't know how they work exactly, but you just upload stuff and then they pay for its rights and stuff, and you can host it there. So and like so if it's
important thing I'm just looking at is all the integration with Python. And I was just seeing that there is this toolkit called Music21 from MIT that has a whole bunch of tools on with Python that support MusicXML.
Yeah.
And it includes all these tools for musicological analysis.
Yeah. And that Music21 is, I didn't install it yet, but it seems like they have lots of not only analysis parts, but for example, if you feel better in humdrum to analyze stuff, you just use
supports all these tools,
yeah
so you can go from one to another.
yeah, it's very easy.
And MIDI and all this stuff. So that might be that.
Yeah. And like in the end of, I mean, we will obviously discuss some stuff, but we will, as far as I know, upload all these presentations. So I kind of made like a quick list of where we can get stuff and what might be, interesting to look in a more detail. So we can download the definition stuff, or like the alphabetical index, which we can quickly refer to anywhere without going to the .mod files, their publications. They have a OK tutorial, and their examples are very nice because it's mostly like classical composers, like huge works, and there's also like, because it's XML, they have also put like a analysis example, but I think it's in Dolet, so I'm not very familiar with what they do.
The other issue is whether it supports, apart from Turkish music, which has been a new bandman, and I guess it's thank you to you that you were also suggesting how to do it. Like for other, like for Indian music, or is there any support for that, or any? Have you looked? Have you seen it?
For Indian?
Yes.
No.
You have not seen it, or
no, there is none.
There's none.
There is none.
So the only non-Western things is I think
Turkish, Chinese, and Persian.
Chinese too.
Yeah, I think so. Let me quickly check.
They have like
Easy was to imagine some color.
Yes, can be extended. The
Yes, Chinese jump numbered. So, I mean, if they put some numbered notation, they can also put like the Indian Saregama Padani. So,
The thing is that those XSD and DTD are just like, let's say, ontologies that everyone agrees on, or that are published as a standard, and that if you say I support XML3 and I use the words that are in this vocabulary, everyone that says they support XML3 will understand that. But that doesn't prevent us at all to add our own stuff. In which case, if we give it to someone else that has a MusicXML3 program, maybe we'll not recognize those tags. But I mean, for internal use, we could use it. I mean, we can mix them completely freely. It's just basically it's just an agreement on what words we use for describing.
Of course, the other issue is that people get confused because, like what you showed, the display is not part of MusicXML. The displays have to client application.
It's just the data format.
yeah.
The issue is then how to display the things and what tools are available to display. I don't know. We should find.
One
If we
example
would like
is
to
MuseScore.
what?
MuseScore, for example, understands music XML.
Right, but if we want to embed it like in RepoVis or in some of our own
Yeah.
kind of web interfaces, how to
I
go about it?
translate this music format to a PNG.
But we want to have something that is symbolic and that is.
There is not like.
So in their tutorial, I actually remember.
There's a library for online visualization of scores. I don't know if it supports music or not.
Mhm.
There is also some plugins for browsers.
Do we?
You play
Yeah.
XML. It's not working on Chrome, but for Safari or
Automatically, there's
Yeah.
layers.
MuseScore
Ah.
also open the website that displays music XML scores and XML. You can play them interactively.
Mhm. And they, in their tutorial, they also give this explanation, and like I found the myriad plugin which doesn't work from here, but
But so it's clear the conclusion that this is the format to use for kind of CompMusic. I mean, does anyone have any other opinion about other? Because at one point we were talking about Hamdra.
We need to have some conversion tools. I mean, we cannot just exclude it. This may be central,
Yeah.
but we need to have also conversion tools, I think.
Yeah.
But what is your opinion?
I don't know. I mean, I'm new to this area. Of course, I would like to forget about MIDI. I would like to. I think Hamdra is there is not an active community supporting it.
mhm.
I subscribe to the mailing list and I get so many emails a day that I want to get out of it, but it means that there is a very active community supporting it.
So we can concentrate on this and, well, we just use Hamdam when we need to.
Hamdam, the nice thing about Hamdam is all the tools that it's for the analysis. That's what it was built for. The actual formatting is very simple. So the
Mhm.
issue is, okay, one thing is the format, but what are the tools to process? And Hamdam is integrated, and in here, I don't know, maybe this Music 21 is a good set of
Yeah.
tools for.
But even we Google like XML parsing tools, there will be lots of stuff. As far as they say, I have never done stuff with
Yeah,
XML.
specific for music processing that we don't have to.
I think if we embrace music XML, at the very least we would have to make some extensions, I think,
Mhm.
for internal.
I mean, the idea would be even to be able to use the like Gaias and for similarity measures with so how difficult would that be? So that we can integrate. I mean, the whole goal is to integrate the audio and the symbolic world better, so that we can really join into some different processes. So I mean, if there are tools on Python for these, then it can be easily integrated. That might be a good.
Okay. Next presentation or?
Next one.
Okay.